This is the story of family man Mohammed Hamid. Mohammed Hamid is one of the many victims of Britain's war on terror languishing in prison. He was arrested along with 14 other men in the wake of the 2005 London bombings and charged with providing terrorist training. On the 26th of February 2008, Hamid was found guilty of providing terrorist training and soliciting murder, and sentenced to an indeterminate sentence for public protection, with a tariff minimum term of 7 years, after which he will only be released if the parole board declares he is sufficiently low risk to be freed. Along with other supporters, Mohammed's daughter Yasmin has launched a campaign to demand freedom for her father. Events that occurred before Mohammed Hamid was charged. In 2005, the so-called London bombings occurred. The official story we were given is full of inconsistencies. The main one being that the bombers in the official story were said to have caught the 7:40 train. The official story tells us that witnesses saw the 4 men on the 7:40 train. This, however, cannot be true, as the 7:40 train that morning had been cancelled. Later on, the official story was changed. We were now told that the 4 men caught the next train. This also cannot be true. If the men had caught the next train, this would not have given them time to reach King's Cross. Also, the official story has already told us that there are witnesses who saw them on the 7:40. There are many more inconsistencies with the official story and those of eyewitnesses at the event. Eyewitnesses that were on the train that day say they saw the holes blown by the bombs in the carriage. The floor had metal coming into the train, as if the bomb had blown upwards. This would not be the case if the 4 men were supposed to have been carrying bombs in rucksacks on their backs. There has never been an official inquiry into the 7/7 London attacks. Mohammed Hamid was convicted in 2008 under politically motivated circumstances. He was found guilty of soliciting to murder under legislation dating back to 1861, despite never actually instructing anyone to any specific act. The conviction was based upon innocuous statements allegedly made by Hamid whilst under covert surveillance, which by the accounts of those who appeared in court for the prosecution were twisted to suit a government agenda. As part of a documentary about Muslims in the United Kingdom called Don't Panic, I'm Islamic, the BBC filmed Hamid and others playing paintball. However, the Metropolitan Police and the Crown Prosecution Service felt that there must have been something sinister about Muslims paintballing and camping in the woods. Statements were given by the police, of which the strongest allegation was a testimony that they were holding sticks exactly as I have seen people in Iraq. That this was their strongest evidence, even after months of surveillance, which included the use of undercover agents and covert recording, is a stark indication of the legitimacy of the prosecution. It is our contention that it is no more of a crime for Muslims to go paintballing or camping than it is for the thousands of other people who go paintballing and camping every year. Yet in these war of terror times, It has meant that Mohammed Hamid and others are now serving totally unjustifiable sentences for taking part in activities that are not in themselves crimes. It is our fear that this sentence will be the first of many for Muslims in the United Kingdom, and by extension the precedent Hamid's case has set, for non-Muslims too. Indeed, anyone who does not champion the British government's foreign policy, or who have a different worldview. Hamid's prosecution amounts to nothing but internment in another guise, and is an affront to general principles of law and justice. It was a calculated, cynical attempt to justify a year-long undercover operation, which revealed nothing more than that Hamid perhaps had a sense of humour that may not be to the taste of Middle England, and that he was openly critical of British foreign policy. We call on the British government to release Mohammed Hamid and overturn this serious miscarriage of justice. Here is a quote from Mohammed Hamid. "The prosecution and system are the ones that have no heart. They try their best to make me look like an evil person, regardless of whose feelings they hurt. They know full well I am not what they are trying to say I am, so they have to cut into the middle of my conversation to make me look bad. They know full well how 7/7 emotionally affects the public, so they played on the public's emotions to fuel the evil plot and schemes. They did not take into account the feelings of the victims and families of the victims before they decided to put out such a statement in the manner in which they tried to make it look. They know that I don't agree with the 7/7 or 9/11. They know I don't believe in killing innocent children and people. They know that the full transcripts aren't saying what they are trying to say. They know that I am not what they say I am, but yet still they did. Why? They arrested us knowing full well we aren't terrorists. So what did they do? They tried to paint a picture, and in doing so did not care about the emotions or feelings of the general public or families. These people are the terrorists." Mohammed Hamid. In a public statement, Hamid's daughter, Yasmin Kass, said, "My father, Mohammed Hamid, a 50-year-old father and dawa carrier, was sentenced in 2008 to an IPP, imprisonment for public protection. He was singled out for his beliefs, which included challenging the government's version of events regarding 7/7. He is a man who loves people, and people love him right back. Our home has been torn apart by his absence, and it is worse knowing he is an innocent man, imprisoned for public protection for the crimes of calling non-Muslims to Islam, playing paintball, and helping local communities." For more information on this case, and to find out about Mohammed Hamid, please go to www.freehamid.blogspot.com, and please sign the petition. You'll find the link below this video. Thank you.